Welcome back, AUG enjoyers. Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic for AUGs, and it is logging. Now today I want to talk about how to get started logging, how to get the client going, how to know you're logging in dungeons. If you've watched my stream, sometimes I forget. So I want to try to clarify exactly how to get this whole process going, and that way you can start logging. Now, why is logging so important for AUG? Well, AUG deals damage differently. How it works is part of your damage is personal and part of it is buff damage. Now the in-game meter only shows your personal damage. It does not show how much you're buffing. That buff damage is given to your other DPS. So whenever you're in a group with two other DPS, sometimes they're like, wow, I'm really pumping. That's because you're buffing them. Now you look low on the meter, even though you are giving a lot of buffs to your DPS, and then it looks like they're doing very, very well. And I know some people can get discouraged wondering, why am I so low on the damage meter? Well, that's why. Half of your damage isn't being shown. Now, how do you see that damage? Well, you log. You have to log your dungeons, log your raid fights. And today I want to go through how to do that, how to start that up, how to get whatever you need, the clients, the add-ons, everything. Now, before we go into going to get the program, going to get the add-on, there's a couple things you got to do in-game right away. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to options and type advanced combat log. You're going to see under network, advanced combat logging. You're going to want to check this off. If you don't have it checked, you won't be able to log. Once it's checked off, it never unchecks, so you don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to worry about doing that between dungeons and all that stuff. The next thing you're going to want to do is type /combat log in the game. Now, once you type that out, you'll get prompted with a message that says combat being logged to log/while combat log, or wherever you have your logs going. Once that's on, you're good to go. That means that you're logging, you go into a dungeon, it's going to log all the information. Even if you don't have the Warcraft Logs, program running, it's going to be doing this, so you can always go back and get your logs. Now that's all you have to do in game. Once that's set up, we're going to go to Warcraft Logs. Once you're here in the top right hand corner, you'll see sign up or log in. Create your account, connect your BattleNet, get that all situated, get your email, your password, all that stuff. Once you're logged in, you're going to be brought back to this page. Now, how do you get the add-on or the app to start logging? Well, you're going to go to download client, and then you have two options. You have Warcraft Logs Companion. This is in-game. I used it for a little bit. I wasn't a huge fan. I used the Warcraft Logs uploader. Now, this is a separate downloadable program that you connect to your folder, and it takes all your logs, and you can do everything through there. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Select Windows, Mac, or Linux, whatever you have. Download and install Warcraft Logs Uploader, and then once you install it, you will be prompted again to sign in to the same account that you just created. Now, once you are signed in, you're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. Now, this might be a little different, but that's okay. This says choose the log subdirectory of your game installation. What this basically means is, where is your log stored? It's always in your Warcraft folder. So you're going to go to your C drive, your D drive, whatever it is. You're going to go to World of Warcraft, retail, and then logs. This is already set up. You don't need to create it. It's already in there. It's already taking logs. So that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to hit choose. You're going to go to World of Warcraft, retail, logs. There you go. You've got it right there. Now you see a couple other options. Don't worry about that. Once you're at your logs, select folder. Now there's a couple options right here. If you want to do these logs into your guild logs, you can select this, select your guild, and good to go. You do need to be approved by the guild to do it. So I just do everything personal. I like everything on my own. I want to be able to see my own logs. So I keep it as personal logs, US, and then you can do public or private. If you want to do it just for yourself, then you can do private. I just keep it public. I don't really care if people look at my logs. It's fine. Now down here, you can enter a description for the report. If you're going to a raid, you can type, Liberation of Undermine 3/4 for a date. Or you can select Mythic Plus on this day, or you can select this specific boss, whatever it is. If you don't put anything there, it will automatically fill something. So if it notices that these logs are Mythic Plus, it will say Mythic Plus. If it's the raid, it'll say the raid. I just leave it blank. If I'm looking at something very, very specific, like if I'm testing something, then I will do specific names, but I kind of just leave it blank, probably to my detriment because they all look the same. But if you want to be very organized, you can set exactly what you want to do, what dungeons you want to do, etc. Now you have the option to include the entire file in the report. Now this is under live logging. What this means is when you start the log in game and you select this and you hit go, it's going to log and not stop. And if you do 7 dungeons, it's going to log the entire dungeon. If you do 50 dungeons, if you do 1, if however long you have this open, it is going to be collecting information. But what it will also do is read the previous log and take it from there. So if I do 3 dungeons where I'm logging, but I'm not live logging, I'm not live logging, I just have the log running. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to start live logging. I also want to get those other ones in there. You check off, include the entire file. It'll take your entire combat log that's been generated and then start working off of that. Kind of nice when, you know, you want to go back and do something, but you don't want to be uploading different logs. So if you don't want to do that, if you don't care about what you're doing previously, you can uncheck it and it will only start from when you hit go. So that's the live logging situation. Now, if you don't want to live log, sometimes I don't, sometimes I want to upload specific logs. You're going to go over to upload a log. Now, the first thing you're going to see is choose the file you want to upload. It'll look something like this, where you're in your World of Warcraft folder, your retail, your logs, and then you see these different logs. These are all different combat logs. Now, they all look the same. So if you're confused and you don't know which one, I always look at the date. If I say, okay, 3/3/26, that was just now, this is the log I want to upload. So you're going to select that, hit open, and then again, personal, US, public. Description, I'm not going to enter a description, you're going to see what it looks like. Now, if you have a log that has a ton of different things in it, you can select the fights that you want to upload specifically so that you don't have just a cluster in it. If you just want to do 1 or 2 bosses, you can check this off and it'll prompt you to select which fights you want to do. So we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to check that off. I'm going to hit go. It's going to scan the combat log and then I will be back when it's done. All right, combat log has been scanned and I had it set up to select specific fights. So now you're going to see, this is my Mythic 0 World Tour. You're going to see every boss and some little fights in between dungeons. You're going to see every little one. Now, I want to only look at specific ones. So I checked off Degentrius, Ember Dawn, and Commander Kroluk. These are the ones I want to see. I don't care about anything else. Once I'm ready, I'm going to select go. Now it's going to read the combat log and upload, and I will be back right after that. All right, the log has been read and you're going to be brought to the final page, which is where you can review it by selecting this button. And then in the bottom left, you see archive now and delete now. If you have a log going, like if you're still playing the game and that log is active, you won't be able to do this. You'll have to log out and then you can do it. So I like to do it at the end of my session. I'll go through and delete the logs, either manually going into my Warcraft retail logs folder and deleting them, or sometimes I'll just log out, delete it, log back in. But if you're ready to see your log, you're going to select this button right here. Once you've got the log uploaded, you're going to come to this page where you're going to see all the different kills, all the different bosses, whatever you uploaded, you're going to see right here under encounters and trash fights. Now you can do the whole thing or you can pick specific ones. So first we're going to start with Commander Kroluk. Now when you click your boss or whatever encounter you're looking at, whether it's a mythic dungeon, raid boss, whatever it is, you're taken to this summary page. Now it shows like an overview of the events, which is damage done, damage taken, healing, and you can see, you know, the start of it all the way to the end of it. Scroll down a little more, you see group comp, and then you see another overview of damage done, healing done, damage taken, and deaths. Now this is just like an overview of the whole dungeon. At the top here, you see damage done, damage taken, healing, threat, buffs, and so on and so forth. These are more in-depth breakdowns. So we're gonna go to damage done. And we're going to see this is just the damage done for the dungeon. You scroll down, you see the damage done that everyone is dealing. Now, if you look right here, it shows me doing 23k in this Mythic 0. Now, why this looks different than you see in your in-game meter is because this is showing all my buffs being reattributed back to me. If you scroll up here, you can see augmented damage. This is what you're going to see on your in-game damage meter, which looks a lot worse. I know a lot of people get worried about, why am I at the bottom? Why am I doing so low? Well, this is what everyone sees. Unfortunately, that's not the actual damage you're dealing, and it can feel like you're behind. But anybody who plays with an AUG knows that they don't show up on the damage meter, and if they don't know, then it's probably not worth grouping with them anyways, to be honest. But anyways, we're going to scroll back up. We're going to take off augmented damage, go back down, and now we're going to select our character. And here you're going to see an even more in-depth breakdown of your damage. So Ebon Might was doing the most, Eruption was the second, Upheaval, Fire Breath, Chrono. You see every ability you're dealing, how much of your damage is from that ability. And then if you look at like Prescience, for example, and slide over here, you can see hits, average hit, crit, uptime, all these different things. So you can see the uptime for all of your abilities. So if you're curious about, oh, how often do I have prescience up? How often do I have duplicate up? How often do I have this? You can come in here and see. And for example, prescience is at 75%. And so if you're curious about how you're doing on your prescience, you can use the log to go in and say, oh, okay, you know what, I can improve on that. If you're looking at, you know, something looks out of place, or you want to test how, for example, how Shifting Sands is doing when you're in a mastery build versus a crit haste build, you can come and check that. So all of this just kind of shows your damage breakdown. Now, AUG is a buff spec. So if you're curious about how much damage you're getting from buffs per person in your group, you're going to go to the top of this page, this damage done page. Your character selected, you're going to select done by ability and change that to done by source. And what that's going to do is give you these little percentages. So Loot Thief, 12.8, Folius, 10.2. What does that mean? That means that my external buff damage, I'm getting 13% external buff damage from Loot Thief plus all of his pets down here. And I'm getting 10% external buff damage from Folius right here. Now, as you start to gear up, you know, at Scale Commander, it's usually like 20-20 maybe. And then around Chrono, you get like 50 to 60% between the two. So you get like 30 and 30. And that's how you can go in and see, you know, how much damage you're getting from buffs from each individual, if you're curious. Now we're going to go back up in here and go back to damage done by ability. And the last thing I want to go on is over here. This is also kind of an important section. It's cast. Now cast, at first glance, is just going to show you, you know, uptime, clicks per minute, and the amount. That's not what we're looking for. What you're going to want to do is come back up here, and there's two sections, timelines and events. Now timeline, so this is just a boss fight. So if we select timeline, it's going to change, and it's going to show from the start of the pull all the way to the end of the pull, and it's going to show you exactly where you cast everything throughout the fight or the dungeon, however long you want to do it. If you do the whole dungeon, it will show you the whole thing. But just for the boss fight, you're going to see, okay, I came in, I potted, I trinketed, I eonsed, ebb and might, and then it's going to show you this in chronological order for what you cast. So if you're ever going in and you're curious, you know, you see somebody playing and you're like, what did they do for an opener? Why are they doing more than me? This isn't specific to AUG. You can do this for any class. If you're like, all right, why are they doing more? How'd they open? You can come here and you can see exactly what they cast going through the entire fight. Now, if you don't like this slide to the left, slide to the right, cha-cha slide thing, you can come back up here and you can go to events. Now, events is going to put this in a little bit of an easier read, where it's going to show your time on the side, and it's going to show you exactly what ability you're casting. Now, if you exit off your character, you will see the everybody's. So you'll see the monk, you'll see the priest, you'll see everything coming out, and you can go through and see exactly who casts what, when, where. And then again, if you come over here, all friendlies, you can just select yourself, and then you can see exactly what you cast. So if you're looking at it and you're like, oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I cast Fire Breath before Eons, or I cast Fire Breath before this. You can come in and see it. So this is actually a really good tool too, to come in and see, to make sure you're doing everything, to compare yourself to other people, to, you know, if you, like I said, if you have a question about how they're playing differently than you, if they did more damage, or if they did something that they did something differently, this is a great spot to come do it. And then that's pretty much it. That's a very basic outlook, but this is how you can go in and see what the damage is for your boss pull, for your dungeon. You have to be logging, and then you come in here, and then all the damage that you're buffing other people with that's showing up on the damage meter, that makes it look like this, it gets reattributed, and then you can see your actual damage. If you have to go in and you're like, okay, who was taking the most damage, how is the healing, you can go to healing and see how they're doing. You can see how much the tank's healing. I know there's a ton of info on logs, and I didn't go super in depth, but I wanted to get, you know, a little introductory video to bring people into the world of logging, especially with the season coming up and AUG being a more popular class. So if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comments below. But for right now, if you just want to see your damage, that's all you got to do. There you go, guys. Until next time.